morning. Out for another lovely walk. Brought some bananas. So, a few people have started to ask me about experiences I've had out here. Spider web. Oh. All up in my hair. And, it's been a good amount, actually. But I figured, today I'll tell you about how I even started coming out into the woods anyway. The short version. But, something's walking to my right. I guess we're coming up, my daughter's about to be 5, so we're coming up on 7 years, it would be, since I kind of entered into this community, not knowing anything. And that in itself was just incredibly random. I never watched anything pertaining to cryptids, Bigfoot, ETs, nothing even close to anything in this community. And I was randomly recommended a research channel. Just out of nowhere on YouTube. And I've been hooked ever since. Something's moving. Let's go see. I'd rather see what it is than just listen. Oh, well, there you go. Now I need some noise. So yeah, anyway, I was hooked ever since. I started watching that channel that had been recommended, which was Debs from PA. She's the first person I ever stumbled across. Yeah, I never really thought of myself as the person that would be out here in the woods. I'm not going to say researching because I really don't do that. Excuse me. I just really enjoy the woods, and if I see some weird, strange things along the way, then we'll see it together. Nope, my ankles are bare. They're gonna get eaten up. Anyhow, I, just continued to watch people. You find one channel, you start finding more. And, that's how it went. Which, I didn't find the channel. It was recommended to me, literally, out of nowhere, for no apparent reason. And I remember the title of the video, too. I think it was Bigfoot Bigfoot either climbing a tree or Bigfoot carrying a deer up a tree. Sorry, Dabs. Darn it. I can't remember exactly what it was. But the title was intriguing enough for me to say, what? For real? And yeah, I started finding all the other channels. I wasn't on the Facebook side of things yet. At that point, just strictly YouTube, watching videos. You know, commenting here, commenting there. But mostly keeping to myself for a while. And then, you know, once I started learning a bit more and watching so many people, I don't know if stuff is being thrown at me or if it's falling out of the trees. Let's see what kind of stuff is on the ground. But yeah, once you know, watch so much and you learn so much and you start to have an eye for things, and so I started, you know, helping certain people go through their footage and, you know, pluck out anything of interest, take screenshots, you know, tell them, hey, go back, check this timestamp, you know, things like that. Eventually that led into like a full-time editing thing. That's how I met Paula too. We used to help the same person. We are no longer associated with that person, but that's how we met. And we would go over their footage and take screenshots, take note of areas of interest, send timestamps, pull audio, go over audio. You know, we ran their Facebook group, Facebook page for over a year. And then, you know, we decided to, you know, start doing it for ourselves. But, you know, during the time that we were helping out that specific person, you know, I was pretty content doing that. I didn't really see myself as the person who was going to be out here in the woods. It didn't even cross my mind. You know, up until these woods that I'm in now, I would pass them every day. Every single day. And I would start noticing the weird manipulations that, you know, to look out for. You know, they say to look out for the X's and the arches and all that sort of stuff. The structures. You know, everything that you hear about that you should be looking out for. And I had taken notice to it. And I got a little upset because I wished I had it documented. And I'm like, well, darn, you know, that was a missed opportunity. And, you know, one day I was passing again, like I did every day, and there was this huge X out of nowhere. And, I said, that's it, you know, I gotta go in there. But I was a little scared. I really didn't want to step foot in there. I didn't really want to do it by myself. So, you know, the person who we used to help out, we would chat all day long. We would talk all day, go over footage, like I said. So, you know, I sent them a message and I said, hey, you got time to hop on a video call with me? And they said yes. So, I got on a video call with that person and one other person, and I flipped the camera around and I walked on into the woods for the first time. And, you know, it was kind of like I wasn't so alone since I had them on the phone with me. And, you know, once I dipped my toes in and got a feel for it that first time, there was never an issue again. I loved it. And now I get out as often as I possibly can, which isn't often enough. Definitely not as often as I would like, but my baby's got to come first. I'm a mother before anything, so. And like I said, a lot of people have been asking me, well, why don't you tell some stories? Why don't you talk about some of your experiences? And I struggled with that a little bit because a lot of what I got to experience and a lot of, how I started out and had the courage to do this, has to do with somebody who I no longer associate with. And, I thought about it a bit and I just thought to myself, it's not fair that I don't get to share my side of things. It's not fair that I don't get to talk about my experiences just because I no longer associate with a specific person. That's not fair. And just because I no longer associate with that specific person, doesn't mean that I have to lie or rewrite what happened. I'm not okay with that. If they want to change up the whole first year and a half of their beginning in all of this and act like, you know, I or Paula was never a part of that, that's on them. That's their choice. But I won't do that. And just because I don't associate with that person anymore, doesn't mean that they don't deserve a little bit of credit. Alright, we don't talk now, but back when I was first doing this myself, they were a big help to me. And I believe in giving credit where credit is due. I don't believe in changing my story and acting like that person never existed. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's right. And it's not fair to me that I should be expected to keep quiet about what I've done and what I've gotten to experience. Just because I don't talk to the person anymore. So, and I'm not saying anything bad about them. I'm not trying to cause any issues. I'm just saying that I've decided that I'll share whatever I want to share, regardless of who was involved in when. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Quack, quack. Leaves are going to be changing color soon. They're all going to be falling soon. I walked right past my little place where I put my bananas and didn't even put my bananas down. See, this is why I don't tell stories, because then I can't pay attention to nothing else. Just kidding. What's going on over there? So, that's just, how I got my feet wet. A little bit more of a background for everybody. And yeah, I'll share more. Mostly everything that's happened has happened here in these very woods. I guess one of my favorite experiences that I had was over on the other trail where I leave the bananas on the potential threshold, I call it. It reminds me of like a doorway. But there was a time I wouldn't go down that path at all. The first time I went down it, like I said, I hit what I felt like was a threshold. It seemed like a doorway. And I just got the feeling that it was a doorway. So I started leaving bananas there as my way of saying, like, you know, I don't mean any harm. You know, if they are here, these are for you. And the first time I actually crossed that threshold and decided, okay, I'm going to go down here, on my way back out, I had stones were being thrown at me. And you could hear them coming through the trees and then hitting the ground. And I got out to the end of the trail and I heard another one come flying through. And I said to myself, you know, every time that I've seen someone have anything thrown at them, they take that as their cue to leave. And I turned around and I said, are you guys messing with me? And I said, do you not want me to leave? And I decided I was going to do the opposite of what I've seen everybody else do. And I'm not going to leave. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to go back. Excuse me. So I did. I turned around and I started right back down the same trail. Paula's favorite tree. Always have to point it out. I hear you. But yeah, I turned around, went right back started right back down the same trail. And partway down there was like this weird... No, I saw that one. It definitely came down from a tree. I saw this weird, I don't know if it was like a disturbance. I don't want to call it a print or a track because it definitely like wasn't in the shape of a foot or a hand or anything. But there was definitely some sort of disturbance in the dirt. And right in the center of that was a little rock, like a off-white beige type color. And I said, that's just weird, because it was the only area that had like been disturbed. It was like something pushed the dirt aside and laid this rock right in the center. And I actually had Paula on the live. We used to always go live from Facebook, and that was always how we filmed. So she was always on with me, you know, saying, hey, look back here, or hey, look over there, or, you know, just coming along. And she said, that's probably a gift for you. And, you know, that hadn't even crossed my mind. I took notice to it. I didn't think, take it. And she said, take it. And I pick up this little rock, and I turn it around, and it looks just like a Bigfoot face. It looks just like a Bigfoot face. And I thought, oh my God, how cool is that? And then after that, nothing was being thrown at me. It stopped after that. So, take that as you will, but to me, it was freaking awesome. And I still have that rock. And that video should be uploaded on the channel somewhere. I don't recall the name of it, but it's on the channel. Where I'm aiming right now actually shouldn't be too far from the threshold I was just talking about. We're going to go down that path because I got to go put the other bananas down there. I'll have to save the really good story for another day. I still think I've only actually shared my actual encounter story with like 2 people. And I'm kind of holding on to that one. But someday I will definitely share it. It's funny, every time I come here, there's more porcelain. Why? Don't know. But there is. Let's check out what I call the giant's doorway. I haven't come in from that way in so long. It's been a while. Sorry about the shake. Mosquitoes landing on me everywhere. Looks like a door at the end of a long hallway. That's why I call it that. Oh, they got my ankles good. Sorry, gotta scratch my ankle. Can't stand still too long. Please don't buzz next to my ear, thank you. What am I at? 25 minutes? That ain't too bad. Let's go take a little quick walk down here. I'm not going down this way in forever. Let's see what we can see. I should have walked here today. It's nice enough out. I could have.